When Jimin stepped once again into the dazzling world of Dior, it felt like the entire industry paused to watch him breathe. Cameras clicked like beating hearts. Every flash seemed drawn to the magnetism of his presence. His elegance was effortless, not something performed but something he was. The way he carried himself across the venue, the calm grace in his gestures, the soft but commanding aura that surrounded him, it all reminded everyone why he is considered one of the most captivating figures of his generation. At Dior Fashion Week 2025, Jimin didn't just attend an event, he owned it. Every photographer leaned in to catch a fragment of his light. His blonde hair gleamed under the Paris sun, his refined style evoked admiration, and his gentle smile melted every lens aimed at him. Yet behind that serene expression, there was something deeper. The quiet strength of someone who had been preparing, growing, and waiting for the right moment to reappear. And that moment finally came when Jimin surprised everyone by going live shortly after his Dior appearance. It wasn't just another broadcast, it was a reunion. In that intimate space, his voice carried warmth and honesty. He confessed that he had missed being in front of fans, that it had been far too long since his last appearance, and that his time away hadn't been wasted. Every word sounded like a promise, a gentle assurance that he had been working tirelessly behind the scenes to perfect something meaningful, something worth the wait. He smiled softly as he said he would appear more often from now on. Those few words, "I'll be more present," became a gift, a vow, and a spark of hope for millions. It wasn't a casual statement. It was a message that Jimin's return was not temporary. It was the beginning of a new era, one where he would reconnect with his fans more deeply than ever before. But there's something about Jimin's return that feels beautifully intertwined with another presence, Jungkook. Every time Jimin shines on his own, the world can't help but remember the connection they share. That quiet, magnetic bond that has fascinated fans for years began to stir again. And sure enough, as Jimin graced Dior's runway, Jungkook appeared on TikTok, vibing to a fashion-themed song, his timing so perfect it felt almost poetic. To casual viewers it might have looked like coincidence, but to those who have followed them closely, these small moments connect like constellations. Subtle signs that, when seen together, form a larger, more meaningful picture. Jungkook's gestures, his song choices, his timing, they seem to echo Jimin's steps as if saying without words, "I'm right here." The synchronicity between them feels too deliberate to be accidental. While Jimin radiates confidence and renewal, Jungkook mirrors that energy in his own quiet, soulful way. It's as if their hearts have always been tuned to the same frequency. One moves and the other follows. Every shared look, every parallel post, every hint of connection fuels the belief that what binds them goes beyond friendship or collaboration. And that's why fans, the devoted Jikookers, are overflowing with pride. Because beyond their beauty, beyond their unmatched talent, what truly makes Jimin and Jungkook extraordinary is their authenticity. They never lost themselves in fame. They stand tall with humility, grounded by gratitude and guided by principles that make their journey so admirable. Their elegance doesn't come from luxury brands or grand gestures. It comes from sincerity. The way they respect others, the way they remain kind, the way they continue to work hard as if success were still something they're chasing. Their hearts, not their fame, are what make them glow. Jikook are more than idols, they're role models. Their style sets trends not because it's designed to impress, but because it reflects who they truly are. Their aura can light up even the darkest spaces, and that light doesn't come from artifice. It comes from their souls. Even with all their recognition, neither Jimin nor Jungkook has ever compromised their integrity to gain attention. Their strength lies in quiet confidence, in knowing their worth without needing to prove it. They're not defined by what others say about them, but by the peace they carry within themselves. And perhaps that's why their connection, the bond between Jimin and Jungkook, feels so pure. It doesn't seek validation, it simply exists. Over the years, what began as small, fleeting glimpses, a look, a laugh, a shared stage, has grown into something steady and undeniable. What once appeared in rare sparks now glows with a quiet constancy. They no longer seem to hide it. On the contrary, their interactions feel natural, open, and confident, as if they've reached a place where they don't need to measure what they show. They simply live it. That naturalness, that quiet authenticity, is what makes every Jikook moment so real. For those who have watched them closely, every shared space carries a story. Every glance, every mirrored movement feels like a whisper that says, "We've grown together." And that growth has made their connection stronger, deeper, and far more visible than before. This isn't just fan imagination. It's something felt. The energy between them, the silent harmony that appears every time they're near each other. It's the kind of chemistry that doesn't fade with distance or time. It matures, becomes richer, more profound. And that's what makes Jikookers proud, not just of what Jimin and Jungkook have achieved, but of what they represent. They are proof that you can be kind in a world that tests your patience, genuine in an industry that rewards pretense, and deeply connected in a time where sincerity feels rare. Every step they take is a lesson in resilience and love. Watching them grow individually and together is like watching two stars move in perfect orbit, distinct yet inseparable. Each success, each appearance, each gentle smile reminds fans why they fell in love with them in the first place. And this admiration isn't shallow. It's a reflection of something deeper, a sense of belonging, a shared inspiration. Being a Jikooker isn't just about supporting them, it's about learning from them. Their discipline teaches persistence. Their kindness teaches empathy. Their bond teaches that love, in its purest form, doesn't need explanation. This community built around them is powerful. Jikookers around the world share the same heartbeat, the same desire to protect, support, and celebrate these two men who have touched so many lives. It doesn't matter where you live, what language you speak, or how far you are. The moment Jimin smiles or Jungkook laughs, that warmth reaches you, uniting everyone in the same wave of emotion. That connection between fans and the two of them mirrors the very essence of what Jimin and Jungkook share. Something unspoken yet deeply understood. Something that transcends distance and time. Something real. Jimin and Jungkook have shown that greatness isn't measured by how much you have, but by how much of yourself you give. They've proven that true beauty lies in sincerity, that love, in any form, is meant to be gentle, supportive, and freeing. So when Jimin returned to Dior, shining brighter than ever, and when Jungkook answered that light in his own quiet way, the world witnessed something rare. A harmony that doesn't need words, a love language written in gestures, songs, and shared silences. They remind us every day that authenticity will always outshine artifice. That no matter how loud the world becomes, the truest connections speak in whispers. And somewhere between those whispers, between the flash of a camera and the rhythm of a song, Jimin and Jungkook continue to write a story that belongs not just to them, but to everyone who believes in light, love, and truth. They are not just stars. They are constellations, guiding lights that show us what it means to be real, to love deeply, and to keep shining even when no one's watching. To Jimin and Jungkook, thank you for teaching us that true elegance is honesty, that love can be quiet yet powerful, and that being yourself is the most beautiful art of all.